Yes, if we take a quick look at how the system itself is structured, there are actually four main modules that you can work with, all four or just one. The first module that we are going to discuss is what is commonly referred to as Hans, just to check, are you able to let in those participants who might join a bit later on? Or
Yes, I'm already doing that.
great, thank you. So the first module here is surveys and pulse measurements. It's just as it sounds. You conduct surveys and pulse measurements, with the difference being that you do it a bit more frequently and you show the results to the group. I'll show you what it looks like. And then there's e-learning with quizzes where you can earn points and answer questions correctly and so on. And then there's the main USP for us really is this focus on behaviors and habits, to really work with it and weave it in, to visualize it and reward it, because then we get more of it. And if we get a bit more of the key behaviors over time, we achieve really big results. The first part, pulse measurements, can look like this. You might ask questions. Every other week or once a month, many customers use this in small groups. So it's not really an employee survey where you ask 200 or 1,000 people what they think. Instead, it's more within my group where we are 10 to 15 people. How do we think our collaboration is working for us? Do we have a shared vision? How is our communication working? Another significant difference is that we actually show the results to the small group. We show the results to the group so they can see their trends and development over time. If the shared vision in the group goes down, you measure it every other week. Then it's very easy for them to see that and start talking about it in the small group. It's precisely that transparency and engagement that is created in that me and my group setting. We get much greater engagement because of that than if we just sent the answers to HR, for example. And you usually get points and coins for answering correctly as well. So that's a very important aspect of it. And the most important thing about pulse surveys is really that we get a high response rate. So if we get a high response rate, then we can do a lot about it. And then also that we actually do something about it. That's where the behaviors come in. When it comes to e-learning, there are all kinds of possibilities there. There are texts, there are links, there are videos, there are images, quizzes that give points, and you can also earn coins. So you can cash in coins for rewards and things like that. There are lots of different templates and question options. It's a complete authoring tool for e-learning. For the user, it's in an app or on a website. You can choose that. Training and e-learning are great, of course, but almost always something more is needed. You need reinforcers for the actual behavior change. That's what this is about. So then you might work with daily behaviors or weekly ones like Jockey and Granita have done. For example, Jockey had some really good business-specific behaviors there. But it can also be things like making sure you move for 30 minutes a day, for example. And then we do that. Then I get 30 points and 5 coins. And then I can see my personal development over time. What I see here is how many times I've done it per week. So this week, I managed to get up to 4 days per week. For booking meetings, I can see my personal development there, Monday planning and so on. So you can see your personal development over time. And I enter this manually, by the way. Things I reflect on remind the users. It's simply a self-reflection to remind and reward. The fourth module is that we fetch data from other systems, for example, Microsoft or Lime CRM. So when you enter a customer meeting in Microsoft CRM or Lime, you get points for it. Or when I update an email address or something like that, enter the quote or something like that. So we fetch data from other systems and reward it in different ways. So the pulse measurement is to track how we're doing in our group. And it's also an important point that it's very easy for a manager or a project leader to add their own questions, add your own content, upload a video, create a quiz, insert a behavior. So it's often middle managers or project leaders who can use and work with the content in the system because the admin is so simple. That's also an important aspect for creating engagement within the group. But then we also have a fun feature here called Focus. You can design this very flexibly however you want, whatever you want to display. In our case here, you can see me, and I've reached 2,436 points. So that's good. And then I also have 187 coins, and I can use those coins to buy something. And then we have a goal here to book meetings, and Hans is in the lead there. We have a goal to book 25 customer meetings. Hans has booked 23, and my team is at 14. And then we have Rowan, Amila, and Martin. You've booked one then. So that becomes 0.5 divided by, you take the average per number of participants in the team. So when you reach 25, then we'll get 100 coins and a scratch ticket in our case. We've worked a lot with scratch tickets at Granitor as well. We've handed out, how many scratch tickets do you think we've handed out, Yoki? What could it be?
Yeah, it's like thousands. Thousands, yes. Yeah, actually. How many have won? You mean big prizes? Yes. Well, luckily no one has quit their job at least. No, let's put it that way. But there have been lots of small wins, absolutely. And it's really, really appreciated, I have to say. We've noticed that, Stefan. People, when we've done those giveaways with cake and balloons, if I may say so, and things like that, so appreciated, absolutely.
So Jockey and I have had meetings and sometimes digitally as well. And then we've handed out these prizes that the participants have collected during different periods. So that's one way to work with goals. So you can also set up campaigns. A campaign is often a temporary competition element for anything at all. It could be a temporary competition about who answers correctly on this quiz, or who has responded the most to the Pulse survey, or who has done the most training. So you can call temporary competitions for anything at all. Any activity for as long or as short as you want. That's what campaigns are. It's really effective when you want to put focus on something. And these coins that you collect, you get points when it comes to goals and competitions and so on. The coins themselves end up on my rewards page here. So now I have 187 coins, and as a user I can buy different things here, cash in for different things. It could be a scratch ticket, for example. Do I want that? Yes. Then I got it, and now I only have 157 coins left. So then I can save up, reach the 300 level. If I reach 300, then I get an Amazon gift card. I can donate 100 krona to the Red Cross now, for example. If I do that, there we go. And then I can see my history here, how it looks for me. This is also completely flexible, and it's super easy for anyone to set this up themselves. What should the reward system look like? As Leif mentioned, it's important that it's something this particular target group likes and wants. It's very common for it to be fairly simple social things like everyone getting cake together on Friday if we reach a certain goal. So it's very much about making it fun, pleasant, and clear. What should we improve together? And how do we think we're doing as a group? And then provide training when needed. And be able to retrieve data from other systems. But it's really this simplicity and flexibility in creating your own content, following up on it, and rewarding it however you want, really. Another feature that's also available is the one called Leaderboard. Many customers set this up on TV screens. Öresundskraft is a customer that uses our system to fetch data from Lime, and then this is displayed on TV screens in their premises. So you can see how customer service is doing. They work a lot with different campaigns, for example, sales or making suggestions for improvement or something like that. That way you can see the development over time there and have a bit of a competition. They also have a really good reward system for the users. Great. Those are probably the most important things. If I show you briefly what the admin interface looks like. Here we see the actual content we're looking at. Pulse measurement, e-learning, habits, and Microsoft integration. We have participants, we've created teams. We set goals here, we can set up campaigns. We have a shop where we can add and remove items and decide how many coins you need to get a particular item. So this part is easy to work with. I'll go into one of these. Let's go into some content here just to show it quickly. I'll take that one. So you work with templates all the time, basically like a content management system. You choose a template, and in this case, you decide what type of meeting are we working with. If we book a meeting with a new customer, we get 30 points and 10 coins. And if we book a meeting with an existing customer, we get 10 points and 5 coins. Here you can add, change, and choose another template. And this is exactly what it looks like right now, as you can clearly see for the user. That's how it looks in the app or on the website. All this data that you collect can be used to do a lot of fun things. You can see trends, statistics, use AI, analyze all the data you get to draw conclusions. Which behaviors are we good at? Which are we less good at? What recommendations can we give? So you can do a lot of fun things with all this data you get and choose how to visualize it. Good, I would say that's the most important thing. This overall solution is something we think we've put together really well here, that you ask how they think things are going and show it to everyone so they talk about it. Maybe training is needed, but very often you need to do something. Oh, you need to do something to improve a situation or a collaboration. And that's about behaviors and habits. And then we specify that, and then you reward it. And the group can do that themselves, or of course other managers or HR can do it.